Elon Musk just confirmed huge Tesla stock news, and this is quite a stunner. There's actually quite a bit of Tesla stock news. I'll go through everything. Tesla Economics posted, wait, am I able to text and drive on FSD v14.2.1? I've been on my phone for an extended period of time, and Elon Musk confirms, depending on context of surrounding traffic, yes. I don't remember this being announced before, and certainly I wouldn't want Nisa to see this, but Elon having the confidence to say this is huge for us Tesla stock investors. This is sort of like unsupervised FSD already at this point. If Tesla is letting you text on your phone, it is sort of assuming some legal responsibility now. Because Elon is saying this publicly, 1 million people already saw this, and probably many more are about to see this. There's a good chance Nisa is going to see this. I hope they don't start 7 more investigations. But Elon saying this, it shows that Tesla FSD is progressing well. Anyway, this is such huge news that I recorded a whole video, and then I came across this and I said, no, I need to put this in the very beginning of the video. And now let's continue with the next piece of news. It's a rather unofficial confirmation, but it's very good news. More Tesla owners have sent me screenshots of themselves buying or subscribing to FSD in Q4 this year than in any other quarter since I started covering Tesla news over the past 5.5 years. FSD V14 is clearly having a real positive impact. The free trials are also helping, and I think we will see another wave of purchases/subscriptions after the free trials end next month and when FSD v14.3 comes out. Investors are definitely celebrating this, and if this is really true, then this will have a material impact to Tesla's numbers eventually. And then we got 2 pieces of stunning news. I was generally a little bit stunned when I saw these 2. It's not just me, Sawyer too said, holy! And this is good for Tesla stock investors, I'll explain in a moment. SpaceX in talks for share sale that would boost valuation to $800 billion. So if that valuation is true, that means since I started yapping positively about SpaceX, it is now going to be up about 4 times. And I am still very bullish about SpaceX. If I could buy SpaceX stock without these 20% fees, I would do that. So right now. And eventually at least part of SpaceX is going to go public, and I will probably buy a bunch of that stock. And this news is definitely good for Tesla stock investors because number one, that makes Elon's net worth higher, so his need to sell Tesla stock becomes lower. And number two, if he does need to sell stock, Elon has shown to us that he will like to sell the stock that he thinks is the most, not necessarily overvalued, but he doesn't like to sell the least, or to be more precise, the most undervalued stock. He wants to sell the stock that is already more fully valued. And we saw before Elon basically sort of sell SpaceX stock when Tesla stock was closer to $100 per share. This is back in 2022, end of 2022. So if SpaceX is valued so highly, the chances of Elon selling Tesla stock certainly become diminished. And also when Elon's other companies do really well, that uplifts all of Elon's companies. People want to work for Elon Musk. Investors are happier because they see that Elon has this huge track record, and that helps all of Elon's companies, including Tesla. And then speaking of stunning news, here's the second piece of stunning news. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Elon also posted about this. Wall Street Journal writes, I used to hate driving. A self-driving car finally taught me to let go. This is the mainstream media covering FSD. Shockingly, positively. This is what they write. Driving has always felt like a chore to me. The first time I let the vehicle Model Y take control, something shifted. As the car guided itself through traffic, I felt tension melt away. A few days before the federal EV tax credit expired in September, I traded my 7.5-year-old Model 3 for a Model Y with FSD. I definitely relate to this guy. Yesterday, I drove for an hour through rush traffic. Lots of cars merging, doing weird, silly stuff. Usually, this would be a very stressful drive. With FSD, it was flawless. It was easy. It was, dare I say, relaxing. Through rush hour, with people cutting people off, rushing. It's incredible. Having FSD in your vehicle, if you drive through rush hour traffic, with people suddenly just braking out of nowhere, when you're getting FSD, really what you're getting is a peace of mind. You're buying a piece of happiness is how I feel about it. And who doesn't want to be happy? Don't you want to be happy? With FSD, I certainly feel that buying happiness is definitely possible. For someone like me, a Wall Street Journal writer continues, who likes to stay in control, surrender has never come easily. Yet here I was cruising through traffic in quiet surrender to the car's code and sensors. It felt like liberation. And now I have something better than a chauffeur. My car never tires, panics, or wavers. I'm not quite sure about that, although V14, yeah, you can say that about V14 for the most part. The previous version of like the V13, or if you don't have a hardware 4 car, the car occasionally will throw up the red hands, and sometimes it will, do this to the steering wheel, especially if you drive in downtown rush hour traffic. Occasionally it does happen, but V14, he continues, it doesn't jolt at brake lights or grumble at traffic jams. It simply drives with quiet confidence and near perfect composure. People often worry that technology makes us lazy. Maybe it does, but in my case, it has done something subtler. It taught me to trust in the rhythm of the ride. It's a small miracle I never expected from a car. Now, I think it's still too early to trust your car if it's on FSD. Definitely don't trust it blindly. Definitely pay a lot of attention. And when my car is on FSD, I'm actually able to pay more attention to the thing that actually matters, because I know the car sees and has this 360 view. So I just look in the direction that I think is the absolute most important thing to look at. But certainly for now, still pay attention. But I think a year from now, I'll make a video and I might say, you know what? Maybe now you don't have to pay attention anymore. That would be a nice video to make. I'm looking forward to making that video. I'm not quite sure though that it will be a year from now, because Tesla might just send newer updates to the robotaxi fleet and not to us regular FSD users. But what is extremely clear at this point is that it is going to happen, and it is going to happen in the rather somewhat near future. But keep in mind, when I say near future, for me, 1-2 years is very short-term thinking. But yeah, Elon responded to the article from Wall Street Journal saying Tesla self-driving is incredible, which it absolutely is. And James, who used to be such a big FSD critic, who has now completely flipped, he says, only the beginning of FSD going mainstream. We will see a lot more articles like this, a lot more coverage from mainstream media like this. You know what will be nice? It will be nice to see an outlet like CNN do a positive piece about Tesla FSD. Oh, I'm waiting for that day. I'm looking forward to that. James continues, Tesla has a 2% share of new vehicle market, and FSD adoption rate is about 10% at best, meaning only 0.2% of new cars sold globally use FSD. And FSD probably delivers a gross margin of 95%. The opportunity is just stupid high. It has only taken quite a few years for many investors to realize this, and now they are starting to wake up to this, and it will be interesting to watch what that is going to do for Tesla stock, which is, of course, going to be overwhelmingly positive in the long term. Omar says, pinch me, I must be dreaming a positive story about Tesla in the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, investors are celebrating. Farzad is happy here too. Pete jumped in saying, this describes exactly how I feel about FSD. The world is starting to wake up. Yeah, people really relate to this story. This is exactly the epiphany I had using FSD for the first time, and why I've been on a crusade to let others know about it ever since. Not only did it melt my tension away, it allowed me to let go of my urge to speed recklessly and the bad feelings I had towards other drivers. I think, yeah, the bad feelings towards other drivers, this is another thing that comes with using FSD. It just, because FSD is driving and doing all the things, when someone cuts you off or does something weird, I don't take it as personally. I never really take it personally, actually, but there's just the distance of like taking things personally feels more like this is happening to someone else and not necessarily to me, and I'm just observing. There's a question presented here, tidal wave or freight train? What's the right analogy for the moment Tesla's FSD finally hits people in the face with how real it is? And remember, it's only going to get better from here. It's not going to get worse, only better. Those of us who use it every day already know we are living an open secret right in plain sight, while everyone around us seems blissfully unaware. Talk to friends, neighbors, family, most have never heard of FSD. Those who have think it's just a highway assistant or level 2 system, and that park to park is some distant reality. And even some of the people that have tried FSD, they tried it on hardware 3 or not the newest V14 version, and there is a significant difference. So many people are still living in the past, but the past is no longer the present. Things are changing and moving fast. Over Thanksgiving, I was in Nashville and drove to Knoxville on I-40 in an ICE rental, no Tesla available to me. And the whole time I kept thinking, All of this is about to change every mile of it. The ICE cars around me looked ancient. It felt like watching a sea of flip phones on the verge of the iPhone age. Once FSD runs unsupervised, there's no question the average driver will want it. There's no joy in the daily grind of ordinary miles, especially commute miles, and especially through rush hour traffic, and especially when you're cut off over and over again, and especially when someone breaks in front of you suddenly. The switch over will be slow at first, then all at once, which is a lot like what happened to Tesla stock earlier. It was flat for so many years, and then it just jumps up like 10 times. When it does, demand for Tesla could go vertical. Oh, no. Not just could, it will. Certainly at least Tesla's revenue or margins will explode. So fast that even Tesla might find itself behind the 8-ball. A high quality problem. That's a good post from Phil. You got another post here. This was literally me before I bought my first Tesla with FSD this year. I was so anxious to drive, particularly on the freeway. Every minute on the freeway used to feel stressful and overwhelming, but Tesla FSD changed that for me. It took away the anxiety and the pressure and finally made freeway driving feel manageable for someone like me who still wants to stay independent. And Joe says this is the storyline Tesla needs to hit when talking about and advertising or educating the population about FSD. Fundamental human nature seeks control, and change that affects that sense of control is why people resist change. Unless a value proposition outweighs a feeling of loss of control, and in this case, it absolutely will. Maybe we are not there at this moment yet for the absolute masses, but we are seeing this. It is beginning now. It is happening in front of us. The strength of Tesla AI FSD is that it gives you more control, more independence, better ability to dedicate to your time more effectively, reduces stress in your life, lets you travel more freely, and actually it makes me drive quite a bit more. Before Tesla FSD, if I wanted to drive downtown, which depending on the traffic can be anywhere between like 15 to 30 minutes or even up to an hour. Also, it depends on where I'm at, specifically in a city. But before FSD, just the thought of going downtown, driving there through rush hour traffic, coming back through rush hour traffic probably also, oh, that was an exhausting thought. Now, when I think about going downtown, I'm just like, oh, I'll have half an hour maybe to relax in the car, listen to nice music, or just think. I like thinking. It's like a meditation. It's no longer something that I absolutely not look forward to. It's now something that's a rather pleasant experience. Joe continues here. It gives you new options that you don't yet realize manual driving deprives you of, and crucially, the option to manually drive if you want to. FSD gives you more control, and that is the tagline Tesla needs to emphasize. We also got some good news from Europe, where it says following high demand, Tesla has extended its FSD supervised demo program in Europe by 3 months until the end of March 2026, allowing a lot more people to experience FSD for the first time. Germany, France, and Italy are all now showing dates of December 1st to March 2026, with more countries expected in the future. Our team will take you on a ride along showing how FSD supervised works in real road conditions. I think this is very good. This will also, I think, make it easier to get FSD approval in Europe because people are going to be overwhelmingly positive after having good rides, assuming that the rides are good. I assume the rides will be actually good and not, a little questionable. And then Omar says, hope they do these indefinitely until FSD is released to customers. I think that's actually the most likely outcome. I think they will just keep doing these until FSD is available to everyone in Europe. There's a post about FSD in Rome. Tesla hosted the mayor of Rome for his first Italian FSD supervised road demo. The event marked the first time an Italian mayor tested the advanced driver assistance system in person in Rome's urban streets. That's good. And then German media tried FSD. They say, I like to think I'm a good driver, but I can't match the system's all-around vision. And that's a German speaking. Germans are very particular, very meticulous, and supposedly they are really good drivers. The new driver assistance system takes over braking, acceleration, and steering all smoothly without any jerking. Capital city traffic, construction zones, traffic jams, and the car remains composed as if it were perfectly normal. The cameras offer a 360-degree view, are never tired, and are never distracted. That makes an immediate difference. Overwhelmingly positive coverage from the German media here. So the German car magazine Auto Bild tested FSD in Berlin and is extremely impressed. It also noted that since Elon Musk is already planning cars without steering wheels or pedals, Germany and Europe must avoid being the last to adopt again. I'm not so, convinced that this is going to happen, but hopefully so. Also, people were impressed by this FSD supervised drive in Germany. Check this out. There were two impressive moments. So one is coming up in a moment right here. You can see all this is blocked on the right side, and the car stops, lets this car go. It goes, everything is happening very controlled in a very smooth manner. And then look at this other part here too. See this other car coming here? The Tesla vehicle finds some space on the right side, pulls over to the right side, lets the car on the left go, and then it continues. Like FSD software is already German. Oh, and then check this out. A Tesla FSD V14 handling dense fog in Italy. It's just going. No issues at all. Very good. Oh, and I also found this clip. Look at this. The car moves a little bit forward and to the right side to let this white car go. That was turning here, see? Yeah, little things like this, it just makes you feel like that the car is sentient. Oh, and by the way, Tesla has resumed paid advertisements for their vehicles on YouTube. So maybe if you're watching my video, maybe you just saw a Tesla vehicle advertising. That would be pretty cool. Hey, actually, if you did see a Tesla video advertisement on my video, leave a comment down below. I'm actually curious to hear if that did happen. But basically, they're advertising Tesla Model Y and Model 3. And Tesla has introduced a bunch of new promotions in the US. If you want to buy a Tesla vehicle, usually the best time to buy is at the end of the year, towards the end of the quarter, like around the first, second, third week of December. If you wait until the last week of December, you might run a risk of not having enough inventory to choose from. But here's what's new. 0% APR financing for new Model Y standard orders. 0% applies to loan terms of up to 72 months. Basically 3% APR for Model Y Premium and Model 3 Premium and Model 3 Performance orders. You can get one free upgrade on eligible Model 3 and Model Y inventory. Model Y leases start from $449 of $0 down, reduced from $3,000 down for a limited time. Yeah, if you're looking for a deal right now is a good time. And some of you know, but I do spend some time in Houston, Texas. I have quite a bit of family over there. And Waymo has announced that they are now fully autonomous in Houston, Texas, meaning no human driver at the wheel, so I'll give it a try the next time I go there. And then Han says, had my first long road trip experience on V14 over the past week. It drove 99.9% of all the miles for the whole trip. Holy smokes, it was so good. I don't care how fast an ICE car can fuel up. I never want to drive that far without Tesla FSD ever again. And Omar is bragging here a little bit. Tesla self-driving 14.2.1 performs a real rideshare pickup and drop off of zero human intervention in Los Angeles, California. The car made money for me and I never had to touch the steering wheel or pedals. All right, so this was an interesting situation. Chinese neo-influencer recently flew from China to California to try FSD 14.1, and he was blown away by its capabilities. Here's a scenario he shared where FSD waited behind a car by the garage ticket dispenser, and then FSD decided to back out and switched to the empty one. Now, of course, it would be better to choose the empty one from the very beginning, but having the intelligence to know, oh, this car is now moving, this car is taking way too long, and then switching to the other one, that is smart. That is what people mean when they say the car feels sentient. Now, before, Tesla FSD was criticized for not seeing small objects on the road, but look at this one. It avoided a small thing on the road, and it did that perfectly. Oh, and look at this. This is FSD on snow, and it's gonna drift a little bit and slide. Okay, I don't think people really want that. I wouldn't mind that if it's safe, but yeah, we need more data for snow driving for FSD to improve. So for now, if you do drive on FSD with snow on the road, be extra cautious because it's definitely not optimized for that. Oh, and what's happening here? Hyundai's head of its self-driving division just quit. He attempted to shift Hyundai's LiDAR-focused self-driving system to a vision-only camera system during his tenure, but grew frustrated working at a traditional car company. During Hyundai Motors annual developers conference, he touted camera-based autonomous driving systems and faced unseen walls while trying to transition to software-defined vehicles. Song said it was not easy to aim to make an AI device rather than a car and implant software DNA rather than focus on hardware. The shift from LiDAR to camera was met with some pushback as Hyundai Motor has invested in LiDAR for a long time. These are sunk costs and we don't want that. Some of its LiDAR projects by research groups were halted by Song inside Hyundai Motor. Song's moves were considered following Tesla. You'll see a lot more of this happening, but the thing is, if you switch to vision only and you don't have as as much data as Tesla and your engineers are not as good as Tesla's engineers, you're not really going to succeed. Check this out. Tesla has made it into the top 10 for the first time ever on Consumer Reports, which are sometimes by Stephen Mark Ryan referred to as con reports. Not me saying it. I'm just saying what other people said. Consumer Reports 2026 Auto Brand Rankings list, jumping from spot 18 last year. Tesla makes the most reliable electric vehicles now. CR said quality issues have significantly improved for 2026. Overall top 10 ranking, Subaru is number 1. Really? Number 2, BMW. Number 3, Porsche. Number 4, Honda. Toyota, Lexus. Toyota and Lexus are only 5 and 6. They are definitely the most reliable vehicles. I'm surprised they are not at the top, but this is Consumer Reports we are talking about, so, you know, this is a bit biased, I think. Lincoln, Hyundai, Acura, and Tesla. In terms of reliability, Tesla ranked 9th with a score of 50, while the only other all-electric company in the mix, Rivian, was dead last with 24. Okay. But Omar breaks down what these rankings actually mean. These rankings are basically meaningless. They measure reliability not as issues that stop you from driving the car, but even Bluetooth pairing issues or stuff like that, which I think makes sense if you have a new car and you're only going to keep it for like 5 years. I think for that kind of thing, it does make sense, but most of us, when we think about reliability, we are not thinking about Bluetooth connection not being exactly the most straightforward. We are thinking about the car breaking down to a point where you can drive it. Or continues essentially low-tech cars that have less features, have less things the user might need service help with. So they are classified as less reliable. If you actually ranked these in terms of how often is the car working and able to drive, Tesla would be number 1. It has no engine, no transmission, everything that can break and shut down your car just doesn't exist on an electric vehicle. It is insanely reliable compared to ICE. CNBC now giving tutorials on how to short Tesla via put options. Their traders are in for a nasty shock, says Omar. Neil replied with LOL. Well, you guys go ahead and try that and see how it works out. I will wish you luck. They will need it. Oh, Tesla Semi gets huge vote of confidence from a 300 truck fleet. Keller Logistics Group, a family-owned carrier with over 300 semi-trucks operating in the Midwest and Southeast, completed a session to assess the Tesla Semi's fit for its operations. Also, DHL has officially taken delivery of its first all-electric Tesla Semi. The Tesla Semi exceeded expectations in DHL's 2-week, 3,000-mile trial. This is very good news. And then speaking of Elon's other companies, Neuralink says it has over 10,000 people on the waiting list to receive their telepathy brain chip. Neuralink is going to be huge. And then SpaceX has released a new video of validation testing on their next generation Raptor 3 rocket engine, performing a Starship V3 ascent burn, the most advanced rocket engine ever made by far. Raptor 3 and subsequent versions will make life multiplanetary and progress civilization towards Kardashev 2. Big news, and I am loving to see this. You know, another thing that makes it interesting for me personally to invest in SpaceX, when you invest in a lot of other companies, you're investing because mostly you're going to make money, and it does have some positive societal impact usually. But if you invest in SpaceX, not only are you going to make money, probably, most likely you will make a lot of money. Not financial advice, of course. This is just my personal opinion. I'm talking about myself here. Also, you are literally going to help Elon Musk make life multi-planetary. Literally. If you do invest in SpaceX, that is exactly what's happening. And in some way, actually, when you invest in Tesla, you are doing the same thing, because when you invest in Tesla, you support Elon Musk. And if you support Elon Musk, you are helping SpaceX as well. So in some way, all of us Tesla stock investors are helping Elon make life multiplanetary, and I am very proud of this. Whoa! Ford Mach-E sales dropped 50% year over year in November 2025 in the US, falling to 3,000 units following the end of the federal EV credit. Okay, that makes sense. But 50% year over year, that's a huge drop. F-150 Lightning sales fell 72% year over year in November to 1,000 units, but that's partly due to a fire at an aluminum supplier factory resulting in a stop of production. Okay. Oh, wow. Omar says I wouldn't recommend a Ford EV to my worst enemy. Oh, well, this is a bit interesting. Sam Altman has explored deal to build competitor to Elon Musk's SpaceX. The reactions that we are getting are quite interesting to this. Overall, it's a great week for Tesla stock. It is up about 7% as I'm recording in the last few days. And I'm looking forward to Tesla stock going to $1,000 per share and then $2,000 per share. It will be an interesting journey to watch all of this. Thank you for watching. My name is Matt Postis, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Monday. If not on Monday, then Tuesday, and if not on Tuesday, then Wednesday. Basically, if there's going to be big Tesla stock news to cover, I will make a video. If there's like nothing, then probably not.